What's good, people? It's your boy, Icarus Gray. And this is Gray Area Anime.
Oh, yeah.
And we are back with more anime for you and yours to enjoy. And this is another episode of us just talking about what we're watching and reading at the moment. I don't know why I couldn't say that more clearly, but we've been watching a lot. We've caught up with a lot of different things. I've read a lot of different things, and now that I'm there, I can talk with you guys about those things. So
how about you go ahead and talk to us a little bit, Icarus? What you been watching? What you been reading, man?
Well,
Don't make it weird.
No, not making it weird at all. It was very enjoyable, actually, and very timely. I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been watching Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon season 3. I've been watching and actually really enjoying Black Clover. I still don't watch Boruto because Boruto is trash.
So we got some campaigns here. Boruto is trash. Roswell's a bitch. Just so y'all know, that's where we stand.
And I've gotten you to watch a little bit of The World Only God Knows, which is one of my all-time favorite mangas that I've read.
Yeah, I love it.
Rent a Girlfriend season 1 was something that's amazing for us.
Amazing.
We're still going through Ascendance of a Bookworm. I've caught up on One Piece, My Hero Academia, reading wise, watching wise, because my wife is an emotional child at times. It's hard
be that
to
way.
watch things like that require her to emote for her to get through them. She's normally not in the mood, so we hardly ever get back to them.
Hater.
But at least I'm caught up with the readings. What have you been watching and or reading?
So I started watching. Well, I watched because there were only 3 episodes, and I'm a little upset about it. Burn the Witch. I have been watching with you. The World God Only Knows, or Only God Knows. Very good. I really, really enjoyed that. And honestly, I've been looking for some more things to watch. I did go back and watch the first 2 episodes of Ascendance of a Bookworm so I could catch up with you and Bible Study Girl, aka Sarita. And of course, Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Love that. I have been reading a lot too. I've been reading more of The Remarried Empress, which is getting real good, guys. And The Wrath of, what is it called? Let me find it.
We've also been back on Fire Force. We're caught up on Fire Force.
Oh, yes, and Fire Force. So good.
Really interesting, to say the least, I guess. There's so many different themes.
The Wrath of the Dawn. That's what it's called.
Themes and analogies that they use that are just, I don't know. But it's still good nonetheless.
So now I think that that's one thing that Fire Force has going forward, is that it is kind of interesting how the writers are choosing to attack ideologies and stuff like that. I think that's cool. I love, obviously, the animation because I loved Soul Eater. That is going to always be one of my top animes of all times. I don't care what anybody says. I love that anime. So seeing this animated style again and seeing the similarities between some of the characters in this anime and Soul Eater is really exciting for me, seeing how they kind of use those things to create new people, but keeping that same style. I love when you can identify those sorts of things. That's kind of fun to look at, with other animes that I like as well. So, yeah.
I guess we can dive in there first. It's been really interesting to kind of see this second season where they are, like you said, diving deeper into ideologies and what do those ideologies mean? And what if, everything that you believe about something is quote unquote proven to be wrong, or you've been following,
or challenged.
Challenged if you've been following a false prophet, whatever the case may be, how they go about doing that. And we've had conversations about that in the sense that it's always interesting to me how in these kind of animes, they make it so you can make good choices and you should make good choices, but you're not making good choices because of religion.
Yeah, they make
or
it very
kinda.
much more on an individual, which I think that religions or relationship with God is an individual thing as well as a collective thing. But they do very much. I do like the way they chose to deal with this by saying you can keep what you believe, and it's okay that you're questioning kind of what you believe, but you don't have to question who you are in relation to the people around you, because what you've given to us is still important. I think that's...
And you don't have to question what it is that you're doing.
Right.
Because what you were doing was still right, even if
somewhere
people tried
somebody
to be
got it wrong. Yeah.
Even if somewhere someone was doing wrong.
Yeah.
It is separate in that sense. And I kind of like that they use that, because that is something that is often lacked in any kind of medium or any kind of deep conversations about stuff like this.
Yeah.
We can find ways to separate everything, salt from pepper, but
for some reason,
we can't.
We can enjoy artists even though they do terrible things. We can somehow separate the art from the man or the woman.
Bumping R. Kelly,
but let's not talk about that. Okay, that's another thing that we stand for. Guys, no R. Kelly, don't come here. Okay, let's not go there. But on the flip side of that too, Icarus, that I'm kind of interested to hear how you feel about this. Is when we deal with, because what they're doing in this season is they're kind of dealing with the world at large, right? They're trying to find the answer to why people are spontaneously combusting. So they're starting to deal with the structures of the actual world that they're building. So when they go to deal with, I don't think I'm going to say it right. It's Amaterasu. That's what I was going to say, but I was unconcerned. So when they go to deal with the business guys there, and I'm going to try not to spoil too much for you guys, but you come face to face with the head.
The guys at the Hajima company.
Yeah, the Hajima company. You come face to face with the head, and you get the sense of this person who is, for all intents and purposes, evil. Like you kind of, or at least you get this sense that he's an evil business guy. He only cares about the money, right? But with that though, there's almost kind of a redeeming factor, because when Vulcan says, "I'm going to create a source that doesn't need that where we don't have to do the things that you're saying,
we don't have to spoil it, where we don't have to use somebody as the general power source.
Yeah, we don't have to sacrifice
this person with an adult person. He kind of perks up the list. I'm like, okay,
if you do that, cool.
I'll bring you our stuff, because if we had another source, we'd use it. It's just we don't.
See, and it's almost like a simplicity in his because his animation is very blank, straight
and
face.
Everything about him is still a child. Like he's sitting there playing a game while they're talking. Like he's focused on this. He's playing a Game Boy, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just solely focused on that. But he stops to have these conversations, even as he dies in the game and loses a life or whatever.
Which
he's
seemed
very
indicative
focused.
of what was going to happen in the scene too. I loved that it kind of made you feel like somebody finna die,
But it was very focused on the purpose of people and believing in people and not choosing not to sacrifice people for the greater good. Because you don't have to. And I think that's something that is illuminating in a lot of different ways, just because that thought process is needed for people in a lot of ways, but it has to be placed in the right hands a lot of the times. I also find it interesting the use of Catholicism in so many different mediums. I mean, like I said, and I've said this before on here, that I've seen them use, like a country Baptist kind of guy, but for the most part, they're always using Catholicism.
Yeah, I mean, it's the most, I guess, it's the most world known, I suppose.
Yes.
I mean, they did the Inquisition. It was the Catholics.
So,
and all of that stuff.
But it's such an interesting thing, because it's like the attack on beliefs in that sense is always going to be inquisitive to me, just because the things that are there and the things that are like, we just touched on it in that sense of what it has is like, when you're doing good, do good.
Yeah, when you can do good, do it.
When you're doing good, do good. But the thing that it always makes me be like is like, but there is no good in
and anything that wants you to be good,
that wants you to be good,
its own purposes, I suppose.
Or that saying it's controlling
or
you,
telling
and
you
fate
how
is
to be
good.
And that's
and it's so interesting the different iterations of that as they manifest in anime. Because it's always like, yeah, they got it wrong. It's basically the conversation of T'Challa and his father, and it's like, you were wrong.
You were wrong to think that we should shut everything.
But they just do that with whatever Kami-sama god character deity that they have. It's like, no, I get to choose my own fate, and it's like, I mean, we all do.
Right, like no one told you couldn't. But I think the one thing that you're kind of pointing to is like the ruler, right? Like not just the ruler, like the person that's ruling, but I mean like literally the ruler, like an actual ruler that you use to draw, a ruler that you use to measure, right? What is that ruler? Like what's the barometer? How do you determine what's actually right and what's actually wrong? Right. And I think that a lot of times that's kind of how they approach dealing with a lot of these, is because they feel like, well, in the past or in these scenarios, these things have been wrong or have done things that have been morally corrupt or morally wrong. If that's what this is, I don't want to be a part of that, right?
Yeah, and then
that goes back to that separation that you're talking about.
Well, yeah, because they don't make it to where like all of the good that people do, following the religion or whatever the case may be, is negated by the ultimate evil of one person.
Evil person who was like, "You're not leaving this dungeon
even if it's more than one, it still doesn't outweigh the good that the people who earnestly do what they need to do.
Right.
Like the people that have actually helped people, the people that have actually given people peace of mind and so on and so forth. Like it just doesn't.
That said, I gotta be honest, when they stormed the main church and because it wasn't about, let me clarify, this was not about the actual church, okay? The part that I'm about to say is satisfying. It was about this underground evil assassination organization that they were actually attacking. Benny was there, but the dude,
Joker.
Yes, Joker. When Joker got his revenge, you guys, if you haven't watched it, I'm telling you, one of the most gratifying episodes, because they build up that story so much that it's like, what are you doing?
They got it to a point to where it's like, this guy was literally
look. I don't want to go into
just
it.
in a way of, I take it to not like a buck, like when they were making slave bucks.
Yeah, like a buck. That's what
what it was like.
Yeah.
On top of that,
if you don't know what that is, look it up.
Extreme, just pedophilish in a way,
just outright disgusting.
And it was supposed to be, but they were playing on again the Catholic themes of.
I hate to even call them the issues, the
Catholic stereotypes at this point. I'll say that to be more broad, because it is a broad spectrum, and not indicative of the sum.
Yeah, exactly.
But like she said, when he got his satisfaction, it was
very gratifying,
and it was really cool. Like I said, to catch up on that. I'm gonna talk Jujutsu Kaisen for a little bit.
And then I can probably bring in Burn the Witch as an alternative,
just to get these themes, because Jujutsu Kaisen is like Bleach speaking of Burn the Witch, but it's basically Bleach taken to the extreme without there being like this heaven or hell kind of thing. It just goes full mythology and saying that
like full Oni.
You don't fight light with dark, you fight dark with dark is how they go about it. You want to
fight dark, get darker.
But they just make it, but it's about the Onis. This is about curses and stuff, which is, I know is different terminology, at least in terms of how we would use it versus how they're using it. And where they are now, I've enjoyed what I've watched. I like how they're building the characters. I like how they're kind of building a human inside of the guy. Because even though he's
which guy?
The guy that
the main dude or the guy
finger
that was
guy,
helping him?
the guy that's possessed him, or not possessed him, but that he's eating or whatever.
Parts. Yeah.
They've given him a focal point and an understanding of who he's inside in a certain way.
So he's becoming more human and less Oni.
No, but
Okay, well,
it's one of
that's
those. He's like Shishomaru, and you'd have to watch Inuyasha to kind of get it. But there's some sort of human in Shishomaru at some point. But again, the way that they choose to show that is just as epic as everything that you can get over at electricduvystudios.com. One of the leading companies for production that you're going to find here is a Black-owned company. And here we support Black-owned business. It's also the company that executive produces my podcast. So it's a company that I think that you guys will love to go and check out. So make sure you go to electricdivastudios.com. There's going to be a promo code for Scary Anime coming to help you out with maybe like 5-10%, or maybe you get a free consultation, something like that. We'll work it out. They got to start paying me first. But electricdivastudios.com is where you guys want to go. If you're looking for a video shoot, if you're looking for a movie shoot, if you're looking for weddings, commercials, or even if you're looking for help shooting your YouTube channels, try her out. I know the owner of the company. I could probably get you a deal or something like that. Or I could at least put in a good word for you. I guarantee you it'll be worth it. But anyway, that is electricdivastudios.com. Make sure you go check it out. So, yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes. So where they are now is basically the guy killed himself.
Which one? Which one killed himself?
Well, the demon took over and then was like, I'm just going to
get rid of this dude so I can take his body or whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, there's no way he's going to switch back. Like, I can survive without a heart.
This fool can't. He human.
And he's not going to switch back to me because he'll die. And he didn't know, no, I will switch back. Like, I have morals. You're not going to kill people in my
you're not in my body.
Not in my body.
No, that's not okay.
And so when that happens, that was the last episode, because the name of this episode is After Rain. He basically died on the mission. They've gotten a girl on the team now who is really cool and funny. They're both from country towns, and then the other main character who's, I don't know, I promise y'all, I know people's names, but it's not as memorable as the things I grew up on or the things I watch all the time.
It's not affecting you the same way.
But I'll get better, I promise. Just the main guy, the guy who saved the guy, the teacher, and the girl.
What?
That's all you need.
The what? I'm pulling it up.
So
now, okay?
No, you're fine, because you're just gonna come in and butcher the name, so it's okay. We'll just stick
At
with
least
what I have.
I'll give them a name.
They know who they are, and if you don't, go watch, because that's also a very critical part.
Oh no, he's a second year, isn't he?
I'm just gonna let you go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
Is he a second year?
I don't know. I can't see it from
here.
here.
I'm about to give it to you. You can look at it. That way you can read it, and I don't have to deal with your judgment. Just scroll down, darling.
No.
It's not him.
No.
Not Megumi. Who is it?
No.
I don't see him there. Though I may have a very specific way of remembering him because I only saw the first episode. Guys, I couldn't watch it. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Fushiguro is his name.
Okay, that's the one.
The first year students are down here.
That's what I looked at first, was the first year students.
And then Yuji is the main character, and then Nobara Kugisaki. But anyway, nonetheless, they think they think that he's dead, and so they're about to start training because they don't want to lose anybody again. So they're immediately starting in episode 5, the training arc for them to kind of get stronger.
And who doesn't love a good training arc? Come on, guys.
So it's really cool. I'm enjoying it. I think that to learn more about their lore and stuff, the folklore of the wolves and the folklore of the different Onis, like the Onis that can turn into shoes, after
not shoes.
A shoe,
Lord.
well, a shoe can be possessed if an object has been left alone or something like that for more than 100 years or something. Like, they have
Who leaving shoes around for 100 years?
You'd be surprised.
Oh my goodness.
Just so many different things that I think that they're going to explore. Because everything always has a folklore to it. Is this the cat that drowned in the river, or the cat who wanted to climb up a waterfall and turned into a dragon? Like all of these different things. It was a koi fish. The koi fish, if the koi gets to the top of the waterfall, it turns into like a
whole dragon
thing. Yeah.
Well, dang, that's amazing.
And then, catfish are known for earthquakes. There are the reasons for earthquakes.
How?
Just when they move or something like that. I don't know. I can tell you, but it's
mixing up catfish with
interesting.
Leviathan. All right. I'm just saying. It got to be a big old catfish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It does. But also, just to get to more fun, I guess you can do your Burn the Witch real quick.
So Burn the Witch is very, very fun. I will say this, Icarus kind of told me about it because he was like, oh, this is an extension of, or another show that's kind of related to.
It's
you
apparently in the same world, so.
Yeah, the same world as Bleach.
It's just in London.
It's just in London. Because let me go ahead and state that because in a lot of anime there are white people, but you don't know they're white, or at least I don't know they're white until I look it up, because everybody kind of has the same skin tone, unless they're not white or not Japanese. Like that's literally the only time that you know that they're not one of the two. Right. So when I see people, especially depending on the animation, I automatically assume, oh, they're Japanese, unless otherwise stated, or they're Asian of some Asian descent. So the fact that this is placed in London was a bit of a change for me in terms of how I was approaching this anime. I love the characters. Let me just say that first and foremost. I absolutely love them. I think that they're pretty amazing. You have the typical stoic girl who's like ridiculously OP. And then you have the other one who's kind of brash and brazen and still very powerful, but not nearly as powerful as the stoic person, right? But when I first started watching it, I didn't really get the connection between the Soul Society and this place, because it's a story about witches, and they don't even really call them witches. That term I don't think was ever actually used in what I saw.
I think it's
so
just
they're just people that live in reverse London.
And
yeah, they're on brooms, but and they use magic. They use like wands, but there are people who live in reverse London who protect front London, I think is what it's called. The main part of London that you and I would know from dragons that would normally destroy the entire city, right? And the animation style is really great. I love the action. It's very exciting. The characters are immediately likable, but there's only 3 episodes and it makes me so mad.
Because it was a short run. Like it literally only has 4 chapters.
They need to come out with more. Who wrote this?
The guy who writes Bleach.
Get back to work. It's like how I feel right now. I know how hard it is to be a mangaka, so I won't be that mean. But still, if someone could help him,
get him to finish Bleach right.
Get back to work.
I'm still surprised he did this, and I'm appreciative.
Very appreciative, man.
That of the work he did is what I'm trying to say.
But there's so much about it that I mean, it is a short run, but it doesn't like end. And maybe that's a hopeful like thing, because there's so many questions. There's so much that they're building. There's so much.
I mean, that's just all in the.
I mean, if it's over, it's over.
The design kind of thing. Like there are a lot of one shots that are like that you never get to see more of. Like there was a sports anime that's I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but it was from the guy who made Kuriko's Basketball, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But then it got like canceled and had to like wrap it up because they were like building up to, he was going to go in these different tournaments, probably learn a whole lot of different techniques and so on and so forth. But they just like skipped to the end and him
and was like, that's it.
And him playing like, in one, I think the US Open was their goal. And whatever, and they like skip to the end. So one shots can be satisfying sometimes, but another thing that we enjoyed a lot of was Rent a Girlfriend. I don't know why my brain just like all of a sudden stopped. But that one I think
Rent
was
a Girlfriend. So good. And I feel like we talked about it briefly before, but it's so good. So sweet.
I think that the way that they build it up is amazingly introspective. In like that way that BibleStudyGirl.com is.
Yeah.
In the way that, like, if you're going there and looking for any sort of spiritual things, that you can go over there every day. And there's a blog post. There's the Bible Study Girl podcast, which comes out on Saturdays. I executive produce that, matter of fact.
Oh, yeah.
But you get blog posts every day of just faith and all kinds of things. Currently, I'm actually the person that's writing all of the blogs this month-ish.
Oh,
somewhat.
Great. That's amazing.
There's already 2 out. I missed a day due to like sleeping. But all throughout November, you can probably check out some blog posts from
it's Jovember, baby.
The man himself.
Yeah.
But go over to BibleStudyGirl.com. Check us out there, and we will see you guys on the other site.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so it was like really, really good. Rent a Girlfriend was like
extremely enjoyable.
Just I love it just because it's funny. I think that the concept is funny because this is something that it happens here. There are people like non-escort services. There are people who literally get paid to come and like cuddle
and
with people or whatever the case may be. But they, like this is that weird phase, like you're in college. But I understand, being that kind of awkward, not really knowing how to talk to people. Would I ever do this? No. Because if it ain't real, I can't do it.
I might consider it. I might consider being a rented girlfriend, like being a temporary girlfriend. That would have been interesting. I don't know if I had the same like level of protection and because there's no sexual anything that happens here. But let's talk about their last episode. Can we just talk about how frustrating the lead characters are? Like,
it's like if they're not, there's no drama. If they're not, there's really no show, and it changes the whole dynamic of it. But I understand.
Say it, man.
I somewhat understand where you're coming from in that sense, only because like I'm accustomed to these animes, mangas that build off of the emotional turmoil of relationships, that build off the inexperienced and maturity, the lack of communication, which is everything. I mean, literally any movie in the world that you enjoy is purely a lack of communication. If people would just
talk to each other in the beginning, it would be over with.
Pure, like everything,
every
like
show,
without
everything.
It's just poor communication. There's every movie that you've ever loved is just poor communication.
Yeah.
Like, so and so hasn't talked to us for forever. It's not that they like killed themselves and they should go into this haunted house.
It must be because I'm evil or something. I've done something terrible.
Or any rom-com is bad communication. Any romantic movie is bad communication.
Especially a bad Hallmark.
Because
a bad one, not a good one.
Bad timing. You also, to get to like the romantic part, you got to have the big climactic fallout of them walking in at the wrong time. Well, I thought you said you were
wasn't what it
celibate
looked like.
or whatever the hell. But this, I think, these are more rewarding to me because they feel more true to life in terms of the different relationships.
Yes.
That you can go through, the different kind of people that you can encounter.
With, yeah.
Because I've been there where you have somebody that is interested in you, but you don't want that person.
Yeah.
You want the person that you want that like probably is interested in you, but can't admit it to themselves. And it's not just because it's like some sort of difficult challenge. It's because there's just like this big connection there. There's something that's real. There's something that's earnest. And I enjoy when they illustrate these things in the media because it gives you this slice of life in the middle of laughing. Because you want him to be a better person. You want her to be a better person. You want every character involved to be better, to have the relationship that they deserve. And learn some things about themselves, because sometimes you look at them and you're like, well, it's not the relationship, is you.
Yeah.
You know, you need to get yourself together. You need to kind of figure out what it is you want, and then you need to go and get it. You need to stop doubting yourself. Whoever told you can never find happiness.
Yeah.
And building of that, but also keeping them at a level to where you can enjoy the growth, because it has to be painstakingly slow. Like I said,
for it to be worth it.
You know, for it to be worth it, and for you to have something to desire.
Yes.
Because once your desire has been met, i.e., you know, if at the end of Fairy Tale, Natsu and Lucy just, you know,
finally get together,
you know, or they say they love each other,
or Gray and Juvia
whatever,
finally get together,
you know, or any of that. If you switch it over to what's the other one? At the end of One Piece, if Luffy picks anybody,
I don't even know that I want Luffy to pick anybody. Look, I just want Sanji to either end up married to old girl or married to Nami. Like, I want Nami to be happy. That's really what I want. I don't think Luffy's gonna get no girl. Luffy
Sanji
Luffy is asexual as far as I'm concerned.
Nami.
No, but he could be with Puddin.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
that
would like
be
that
more
very much.
apropos to the story, but you know, Zoro ending up with Kashigi or Tashigi, I mean,
Tashigi,
or something like that. I think that there's certain satisfaction in that, but it's not going to happen.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
In a lot of different ways, because that's not.
Because that's literally why I'm still watching.
You know, like even in that, like it's just not, just because that's not what that shonen pushes, and some of them thrive off of not giving you that satisfaction. Is inherently why I told you to watch The World Only God Knows, because you get satisfaction and it's worth it. It's foreshadowed.
It's super cute.
It's through there.
Let me just say, I right now I hate the main character. Well, I hate the main character because he's that stereotypical guy that like all the rom-coms push, where he's like it's like The Ugly Truth, like the dude in The Ugly Truth. He's like this complete a-hole, but somewhere in there's a heart, and you kind of start to
his thing
he's
is
just
more,
telling you the truth, quote unquote.
It's
from
more
a
so
place
just
of hurt, and
because
so he
you haven't
sucks.
because you haven't been in this position. It's more of a
okay. I haven't.
Well, what I mean to say is the nerd that loves his safe place.
Yeah, no, I get it. He's scared. So he,
you know, in the frightfulness, it's
anger.
just like the truth is more so a truth that is sheltered by the fact that I haven't actually experienced these things in real life.
Exactly.
I have not experienced the emotion and the feeling behind it, but I do understand and care enough to know, like, this is real. And I know in the game it works like this, but in the game, I finish it, I put it down, and then I'm on to conquering something else. I enjoy the story, I cry about it, but I enjoy
and I don't
further
have to
writing.
see them again unless I want to play the game again in this control
or whatever
setting. Yeah, no, I get it,
and so
it's exciting.
That's more the thing, and that's why, like, he can be a dick, but I also know that mindset. So to speak.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I'm excited to see the way that he grows. Like, I'm excited to see where this story goes, because again, it is really cute. It has like its moments of like straight up fan service that are like, but it's really, really cute.
But
the
it's
way
still
that they do
funny.
it.
I still
it's
think
very
that
funny.
their fan service is
it's a little bit less raunchy than some others. That
but I feel like
seen.
it's wholesome in that sense of like, it's not like, okay, these things happen to a different main character and it's just instant nosebleeds. And
no, it's kind of like
this perverted desire of like, ooh, I actually enjoy this. I set this up, you know, or like, why did you pass out kind of thing. It's like, no, I'm really awkward in these situations. Why is this happening? Please get out of here.
This is,
you know,
weird,
like, you understand
like
that he is apprehensive to human connection. But anyway, I hope you guys can share some of what you're watching, listening to, reading, whatever the case may be, down in the comments. But do you think
you can also share it with us on Twitter at Gray Area Anime 1. You can share it with us on Instagram and Facebook at Gray Area Anime. And if you have any suggestions, any comments, any questions, or anything you'd like us to say here on the air, get at us on grayareaanime@gmail.com.
We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time on 1 and 2. And peace.